Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another riveting episode. I'm your host, Nestle, and boy, do I have something that's going to rattle your world today. But first things first, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, now's the perfect time. I promise this is the kind of content you won't want to miss out on.
It's the way you make me feel so good right now. It's the way you make me feel so good.
Now, let me paint you a picture, okay? Imagine this, you're in the kitchen, making yourself a cup of tea after a long, exhausting day. You've just had a disagreement with your partner or maybe a heated conversation with your boss. Your mind is racing and you're trying to process a million things at once. The kettle starts whistling, the noise growing louder and louder until it's almost unbearable. And then it happens, you snap. You shout, either at someone or just out loud to the universe, and for a moment, that kettle and you are one, the embodiment of pent-up pressure and unspoken words. Ever been there? Ever felt so overwhelmed by your emotions that you didn't even stop to understand them? Well, my friends, today we're pulling back the curtain on self-awareness, the unsung hero of emotional intelligence. Stick around because we're about to delve into why so many of us suffer due to a lack of self-awareness, and how mastering this skill can radically improve your life.
Welcome to Self-Care and Hustle Podcast, where your journey to becoming your best version begins. If you're ready to live your best life and find your inner peace, you've come to the right place, giving you insights on all life tips and purpose-driven actions to move you from where you are now to where you want to go. You can do this. This is me, Nestle Poliente, your host. Are you ready? Now, let's dive in.
The domino effect on relationships. We've all had those moments when we've said things we regret later, right? Well, it's not just about venting out anger or frustration. The lack of self-awareness can seriously erode your relationships. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that the lack of self-awareness could be a leading cause of divorce. Yes, you heard that right. Not knowing why you behave the way you do could potentially ruin your romantic life, job satisfaction, and productivity. Now, let's take this to the workplace. A study conducted by the Harvard Business Review found that executives who had a high level of self-awareness were more likely to be successful. Lack of self-awareness isn't just costing you emotionally, it's hitting you right where it hurts, your pockets. Without knowing your strengths and weaknesses, you're literally sabotaging your climb up the corporate ladder. Anxiety, stress, and the loop of overthinking. I've got some news that might be a little hard to swallow. A paper published by the Journal of Applied Psychology showed that individuals with lower self-awareness had higher levels of stress and anxiety. You see, when you don't understand what triggers your stress or why certain things make you anxious, you end up in a vicious cycle. You're anxious because you're stressed, and you're stressed because you're anxious. It's the not-so-merry-go-round of emotional turmoil. These are expanded sections that can offer your listeners in-depth insights into the significance of self-awareness. Remember, each section can be a launching pad for even deeper discussions, personal stories, or interviews with experts. You can also pepper in more facts, statistics, and maybe even some listener questions or anecdotes to make it more interactive. The 3 pillars of self-awareness. Introspection, the internal mirror. You know that voice inside your head that either serves as your biggest critic or your biggest fan? Yeah, we're going to talk about how to make friends with that voice. Introspection is your internal mirror. This is where you start asking yourself the big questions, like, why did I get so triggered by that comment? Or why do I feel such a strong urge to quit my job? But listen, it's not enough to just ask these questions. You gotta dig for answers, and you have to be brutally honest with yourself. This is where journaling can be your best friend. According to a study published in the Journal of Psychological Science, journaling can significantly impact your cognitive functions and emotional well-being. External feedback, the outside view. Alright, as much as we'd like to believe we're the heroes of our own stories, there are times we might be the villains in someone else's. That's why feedback from trusted people around you can be incredibly eye-opening. Have you ever watched those shows where someone gets a makeover and they're shocked by how good they look? That's kind of like getting feedback, you're the same person, but you see yourself in a whole new light. The concept of the Johari window, as introduced by psychologists Joseph Lofton, Harrington, and Gamm, is an excellent framework for this. It identifies 4 different selves: open, hidden, blind, and unknown. By gathering feedback, you open the window wider, letting in more light and understanding aspects of yourself that were previously hidden or unknown. Mindfulness, be present. Okay, let's clear a misconception first. Mindfulness doesn't mean you have to go on some spiritual journey to the Himalayas. You can practice mindfulness right in the comfort of your own home. This is all about staying present and focusing on your thoughts and feelings. It's about turning off autopilot and really experiencing life, minute by minute. A study in the Journal of Consulting and Clinical Psychology found that practicing mindfulness could significantly reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. Practical steps to improve self-awareness. Now, I know what you're thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Well, let's break it down. The daily reflection ritual. Set aside just 5 minutes, 10 minutes before you hit the bed to reflect on your day. What went well? What didn't? Any emotional highs and lows? Making this a daily ritual can offer you many revelations about your personality, thought patterns, and triggers. 360-degree feedback. Okay, so this might sound a bit formal, but trust me, it's worth it. Ask your friends, family, and even coworkers to give you honest feedback about your strengths and weaknesses. You can use online survey tools or just a good old conversation over coffee. The point is to gather different perspectives to get a more rounded view of yourself. Start small with mindfulness techniques. Begin with simple mindfulness techniques. Close your eyes and take deep breaths for a couple of minutes. Focus on your breath going in and out. Or maybe just eat a meal without the distraction of TV or your phone. Taste your food, enjoy the textures. The idea is to be present in what you're doing, even if it's for a few minutes. The misconceptions surrounding self-awareness. It's not all about positivity. Hey, life ain't a highlight reel, and self-awareness isn't just about focusing on your good parts. You gotta face the not-so-pretty bits too. You might have heard people saying, just focus on the positive. But ignoring the negative won't make it go away. According to a report in the Psychological Bulletin, overly positive self-assessments can lead to dangerous levels of complacency. It's not overthinking. Okay, let's get this straight. Self-awareness and overthinking are not the same. Overthinking is when you're running around in mental circles, whereas self-awareness is all about conscious understanding. In fact, a paper in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology found that excessive rumination could be harmful to your mental health. The impact of self-awareness on career and personal development. Unlocking leadership skills. Imagine you're the captain of a ship. Would you rather know the nooks and crannies of your ship or just steer blindly? Self-awareness gives you the map to navigate through complex social dynamics at work. Not just that, research from the Center for Creative Leadership found that higher self-awareness correlates with higher organizational effectiveness and profitability. Rekindling relationships. Ever felt like you're always stuck in the same relationship patterns? That's because you're probably acting out habits that you're not even aware of. Self-awareness can help you break these cycles and build healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Fitness and health. Now, this might sound like a stretch, but hear me out. When you're self-aware, you're more likely to stick to a health regimen or fitness routine because you understand the why behind your actions. You know what makes you tick, and that can be powerful motivation. Alright, folks, we've taken quite the journey today. We've peeled back the layers on the many misconceptions about self-awareness, explored its incredible impact on multiple aspects of our lives, and even looked at practical ways to start becoming more self-aware today. If there's one takeaway I want you to have from this episode, it's this: self-awareness is a necessity. Whether you're navigating the maze of your career or just trying to get through another Friday, understanding yourself is the compass that will guide you through. So go on, start asking those hard questions. Look yourself in the eye and be brutally honest, because the only person you're cheating is yourself if you don't. And hey, if you love this episode and want to hear more content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share it with your friends and family. Trust me, this is a conversation everyone needs to be a part of.
I was worried you blowed my reputation, but I figured it's not on me. Yeah. The way you're making me shiver, your hands on myself, I keep pulling the trigger right. This very finger for people like them. Oh no. Well, darling, on my mind, I'm feeling so fly up in the zone now. I'm like a golden crown, whirling high up in the sky. Oh, it's the way you make me feel so good, right now. It's the way you make me feel so good. Oh.
Thanks for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into all the tips you can use to becoming your best self. To catch all the latest from me, follow me on Instagram and support me by considering buying me a coffee. Link is in the description. And make sure to chill out, listen to your favorite music, and drink your water. See you in my next episode.